Imagine waking up one morning to find your entire neighborhood submerged in knee-deep water. Your child's school books floating in the living room. The market where you buy food reduced to a swamp. For years, this has been the grim reality for thousands in Burkina Faso's cities during the rainy season. But on April 5, 2025, something extraordinary happened in Bobo-Dioulasso, a turning point that could rewrite this story. Today we're diving into how Prime Minister Jean-Emmanuel Ouédraogo launched a 33 billion CFA franc sanitation revolution, why it matters for Africa's climate resilience, and how you, yes, you watching this, are part of this journey. Before we unpack this historic moment, let me pause and say thank you. To every member of this channel, every subscriber who's clicked that bell, and everyone who's ever shared our videos, you're the reason stories like this get told. Your support isn't just about views, it's about amplifying voices from places the world often overlooks. If you've ever used Super Thanks or joined as a member, extra gratitude. You're literally helping us fund on-the-ground reporting, like our upcoming series on West Africa's water crises. Not a member yet? Hit that join button below. It's how we stay ad-free and keep digging into stories that matter. Now let's get to Bobo-Dioulasso. Under a blazing Sahelian sun, Prime Minister Jean-Emmanuel Ouédraogo stood in Bobo-Dioulasso's Sector 2, shovel in hand, to break ground on what officials are calling the most ambitious urban infrastructure project in Burkina Faso's history. The crowd, a mix of engineers, local chiefs, and mothers clutching children, erupted in applause. For them, this wasn't just a political photo op, it was hope. Today marks the end of an era where our cities drown annually, the Prime Minister declared, sweat glistening on his brow. With these stormwater drains, solar streetlights, and paved roads, we're not just fighting floods, we're building dignity. The project, spanning Bobo-Dioulasso, Kaya, and Ouédraogo, includes 15,234 meters of reinforced concrete drains, enough to stretch from Paris to Versailles twice, 14,250 meters of solar-powered streetlights to cut crime and empower night markets, and a retention basin in Bobo-Dioulasso's flood-prone Sector 8, designed to hold 2 million liters of rainwater. But here's what really matters. For Aïssata, a 34-year-old tomato vendor in Kaya, this means her stall won't wash away next rainy season. For 12-year-old Ibrahim in Ouédraogo, it means walking to school without wading through sewage. And for you, it's proof that grassroots change is possible, even in regions labeled hopeless by headlines. Let's rewind. In June 2024, Burkina Faso's third-largest city, Bobo-Dioulasso, saw rainfall so intense it collapsed 500 homes in a single night. Social media buzzed with videos of nurses carrying newborns through waist-high water. The cause? Decades of unplanned urbanization. As Ouagadougou's population ballooned from 500,000 to 3 million in 30 years, drains became an afterthought. The World Bank estimates that by 2030, 60% of Burkina Faso's population will live in cities, most in flood zones. Enter Captain Ibrahim Traoré's government. Instead of empty promises, they partnered with the World Bank to create the Secondary Cities Urban Mobility and Development Project. The math is stark. 33 billion CFA francs, $55 million, to protect 1.2 million people. But as Prime Minister Ouédraogo noted, this isn't expenditure, it's an investment in our children's future. Speaking of investment, let's talk about you. When I read comments like, "I never knew Burkina Faso was tackling climate change," or "This channel opened my eyes," it reminds me why we do this. And when I see those Super Thanks notifications, whether it's 2 or 20, it's like getting a virtual fist bump. Those gestures fund drones to capture aerial shots of projects like these, translators to decode technical reports, and motorbike rentals to reach remote sites. If you've ever wondered, does my $5 even matter? Ask Aïssata. Her story wouldn't be here without you. The project's backbone is its master drainage plan, a 3D model of Burkina Faso's cities that predicts water flow down to the liter. Using satellite data, engineers identified water hotspots, like Bobo-Dioulasso's Bolibana district, Dioula for the race is over, now a cheeky nod to ending floods. Key innovations include granite masonry collectors that resist erosion from Burkina's acidic soils, solar streetlights with USB ports for vendors to charge phones, and a requirement that 30% of workers be locals trained as masons. But the real genius? Speed. Contractors like Glob Construction have 12 months, monsoon season included, to finish. We'll work nights if needed, site manager Adama Kere told me. Every day, delayed risks lives. Back to the Prime Minister. What struck me wasn't his speech, but what happened after. While aides scrambled with umbrellas, Ouédraogo waded into a half-dug trench to help workers position a drain pipe. Leadership isn't in documents, it's in dirt under your nails, he later joked. This hands-on ethos trickles down. Kaya's mayor, Pauline Zongo, now hosts monthly drain diaries on TikTok, showing progress to skeptical youth. Here's where you come in. Burkina Faso's story isn't just about drains, it's about what happens when we invest in the unseen. When you hit super thanks, you're not just supporting a video, you're funding the next trip to document Phase 2. When you share this video, you're telling algorithms, this matters more than cat videos. And when you subscribe, you're joining a community that believes news shouldn't just inform, it should inspire. As night fell in Bobo-Dioulasso, I met Fatoumata, a widow who lost her home in the 2024 floods. She now lives near the new retention basin. Last year, water destroyed my life, she said, gesturing at construction lights. Now those lights mean my grandkids will sleep dry. That's the power of infrastructure. It's not concrete and wires, but stories. Stories of girls staying in school because roads are passable. Stories of doctors no longer battling waterborne diseases. And your story of choosing to engage with content that digs deeper. Before I sign off, one last thank you. To our members, your loyalty lets us plan ahead. To our subscribers, you're the reason we're pushing 500K. And to anyone who's ever thought, can I make a difference? You already are. Every super thanks, every share, every minute you spend watching adds up. Let's keep building this channel and a world where no one story gets washed away. Stay curious, stay kind, and remember, change doesn't just happen, it's built.